These are a few of our favorite Disney things.
Let's unpack the magic.
Welcome to another episode of the Team Unicorn Podcast. I'm Tyler.
And I'm Sammy.
And today we are going to decide what our favorite Disney World attraction or thing to do is. This came in as a suggestion from a listener, Meredith. So thank you so much for...
Thank you, Meredith.
Yes, giving us a suggestion. We both really liked this idea, but we were trying to figure out how to figure this out.
Yeah, the best way to go about figuring out our favorite things and all of that. So we decided to do a bracket style.
Yes, kind of like a March Madness bracket tournament. And we're very excited the way this turned out. I'm very nervous the way that this has turned out. But before we get into that, I think we should cover a little bit of breaking news from the Disney parks.
Yeah, a little bit. They said Splash Mountain is hopefully coming with the retheme.
Hopefully soon.
Soon-ish in terms of Disney timeline.
I don't think Disney themselves so much specifically had come out and confirmed the timeline, but the actress who plays Tiana was on, I think it was The View the other day, and she kind of alluded to the fact that the Splash Mountain retheme was going to be completed by 2024.
Yes.
Which is very exciting. To be honest, Splash Mountain really isn't one of my favorite attractions in Disney World.
It's not mine either. I really don't like getting wet on rides, so that automatically bumps it down there for me.
So spoiler alert, it's not going to be on our
it's not on our favorite things. So,
but I think that this will really give it the extra life and that extra enthusiasm that I'm looking for in a ride to maybe make it a must do every single time.
Yeah, I think with the Princess and the Frog retheme, it's definitely going to bump it up there, even with because you're still going to go down and get all wet and stuff, but I very much am looking forward to that retheme.
Yes, and it's been announced for so long.
Yeah, because they announced it shortly after the pandemic in 2020, which I found surprising because they weren't really doing much in terms of construction. So I was a little surprised that they announced such a big project.
Yeah, and I just think that maybe some of it had to do with there was a growing concern over the theming or the IP of it, and then what was going on in the real world. Like, it kind of, I guess that made sense why they would come out and say, yes, we're going to retheme it. But then just to leave us hanging for almost 2 years now with no new bits of information other than one new concept art of Tiana actually being in a boat. But other than that, it's so slow, and I really want it to be there. But I mean, I also have to remember this is the same company that's been taking how long to build Tron?
Oh my gosh, 10,000 years. I don't even know. Yeah,
so we'll eventually get it.
We'll eventually get it, hopefully within the next year, but who knows on that either.
If it's 2024, I mean, that's any time in 2024. So, I mean, that's still potentially 2.5 years that we could wait to have to get this right. I don't think it's going to take, another decade. I think we were watching Offhand Disney, Dallin's YouTube video, which great channel.
Yes.
That's one of our favorite YouTube channels.
Dallin.
So he was alluding to maybe the fact that it was going to be 5-10 years on. I don't think it'll be quite that long.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Especially if they've already announced it. This isn't something that I think Disney is going to let people forget. They probably wanted to forget it right now, just with everything going on, because they've announced it and then just dropped it. But I think it'll eventually come in, and if what she's saying is true, 2024, I'm all for it.
Yeah, I am too. I am very excited for it, and hopefully it doesn't take too long because they're not constructing a brand new ride; they're just retheming it. So I think that definitely cuts down on the amount of time, but. Disney has lots of stuff going on, so,
I guess the biggest question, because we already know kind of what's going to happen. Do you think they're going to keep Splash as the Splash Mountain, the name?
I personally hope they don't. I am team let's rename it something else. I don't know exactly what that is. I don't know, like, something like down in New Orleans, or I don't know. Like, I know it's like a themed around like a Mardi Gras party.
Yeah.
So yeah, I am definitely like okay with them getting rid of Splash Mountain. I don't really have a preference if they keep mountain in the name. I think they're going for, you know, brand new theming, different IP. I think it needs a different name.
And I agree with that, but part of me still says that they should keep the mountain moniker. Just because I like the idea of the mountain challenge.
Mm-hmm.
But then on the other hand, if you don't necessarily keep the word mountain in it, you could kind of include Seven Dwarfs Mine Train into that kind of challenge.
Yeah.
So I know, like, when a lot of people ask me what my favorite mountain is at Disney World, I immediately think of Everest, which
Yes.
isn't technically
it's
a
not
mountain.
technically a mountain.
Like, I know what you're asking for when you
Yeah.
ask what your favorite mountain is. It's Space Splash or Big Thunder. But I think that if you dropped the mountain name and maybe incorporated just an IP specific type of name,
Yeah.
I wouldn't be opposed to that. But I have hopes that maybe they'll keep it like Bayou Mountain or Mardi Gras Mountain, or even like keep it Splash Mountain, but then change like the suffix to it. So like Splash Mountain, Tiana's Mardi Gras Adventure.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see what happens on that, but right now it's definitely a not favorite ride. It's one of our. I mean, I like the ride. Don't get me wrong, but it's definitely not something that I feel like I want to spend 80 minutes on to have to walk around in wet shorts for 2 hours.
Yeah, and I'm definitely gearing up with my poncho. Like, I am not about to get wet and be miserable for whatever we're doing the rest of the day. Like, don't sign me up for that. So,
well, speaking of not being miserable, though, let's turn the tide into today's main topic, which we're going to focus all on the stuff that we absolutely love about Disney World. Like I said earlier, we took this idea from a listener, and you said we kind of created this bracket challenge. We broke down each of the parks into its own park, and then from there, we thought of all of our favorite things to do in each park.
Yeah, we came up with 8 things for each park, and we didn't really spend a lot of time on them. It was kind of just what came to mind first.
It was very simple to do.
Yeah, it was pretty quick, and which I think is probably the best thing. Like, we didn't overthink it. We were just like, I came up with a few, you came up with a few, and that was pretty much our list. So yeah, I really like what we came up with. I think it came from our hearts, and yeah, so we had those. So we had 8 for each, and then we're like, how do we rank them, within their, 1 to 8 in each park? So that's where we got your Uncle Jay to come in, and he was very kind. And
we've spoken about Jay in the past episodes, but he has been to Disney with us twice now. So he obviously knows a lot of the things that we listed. Some of the stuff he doesn't know, or he hasn't experienced yet.
That he hasn't done yet or seen yet. So,
which definitely, I think, looking at the list that he created, definitely I can tell, because there's some things where I'm like, okay, this is a definite number 1 or definite number 2, or like, there's no way this is going to be like number 8 on the list for that park. And there were some surprises on this list.
Yeah, so you've seen it. I haven't actually really looked at the whole bracket.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I'm just kind of going into this a little blind. Obviously, we made the favorite things, but where he placed them all, I didn't really look too much into. But I'm very excited to see where he placed everything, and I think it just adds to the challenge. And I'm excited to see what we come up with. And if you guys are wondering why things are ranked the way they are,
you can thank Jay for that.
Yes, thank you, Jay. So no harsh feelings or anything like that. It's all just for fun. But in the end, we're going to find out what our absolute favorite thing, because we will narrow it down to one thing.
We're going to try our darndest.
We are.
So let's go through all the lists first, and then we're going to kind of go through the different rounds of the challenge and see what we can decide is number 1.
Okay.
So at Magic Kingdom, our top 8 things to do there, in no particular order, was walking down and exploring Main Street, USA, going and seeing Cinderella Castle, fireworks at night. There's just fireworks in general. Just because someone is still really holding out for that happily ever after to come back.
Please, Disney, just make us all happy and just say happily ever after is coming back.
So regardless of what fireworks show it is, we just knew fireworks at night. Big Thunder Mountain, Sleepy Hollow Nutella waffle, like the fruit waffle sandwich, Haunted Mansion, the People Mover, and Pirates.
Yes. Okay, and then moving on to Epcot, we have Spaceship Earth. Not the ride, but actually viewing Spaceship Earth at night, all lit up. Harmonious, the UK Pavilion, Frozen Ever After, Flower and Garden Festival, Soarin', Voices of Liberty, and Figment.
Now, we talking Figment the ride, or Figment the character, or just Figment in general?
I think we decided just Figment as the character. Okay. Not the ride.
Yes. I mean, I love the ride. It definitely is due for that retheme and that updates or whatever, but just Figment in general, when I think of Epcot, like our little perfect purple dragon pops up. All right, we're going to switch gears to Hollywood Studios, and the top 8 there are Rise of the Resistance, Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, a Ronto Rap, Wookie Cookie, the Frozen Sing-Along, Potato Land, the photo op, Rock and Roller Coaster, and Slinky Dog Dash, specifically doing it at night.
Yes.
And then you want to take Animal Kingdom then?
Yep. Animal Kingdom, we have the Tree of Life, Expedition Everest, Exploring Pandora at Night, the Safari, Satuli Canteen, Kite Tales, Dinosaur, and Festival of the Lion King.
Well, I'm kind of nervous about this.
Oh, I'm excited.
I hope that, I know something good's going to happen, but I just feel like there's going to be like a lot of like tough decisions that have to be made.
Yes,
here.
Tough decisions, but we can do it. I have faith.
All right, so let's go ahead and we'll do park by park, and we'll just kind of narrow down each of the 8 things in one park down to one thing.
Yep.
Do those for all 4, and then we'll come down to our final 4 and see which one is the best of all time.
Okay.
All right. Let's start with Magic Kingdom, just because that's what we have up here first.
Yeah.
All right. We have Big Thunder Mountain versus the People Mover.
Ooh.
That's so... I feel like the People Mover was something that, like, it's either you really, really love it.
Yeah, or you're just like,
or you
whatever.
don't care about
it.
Like... and I feel like initially, like, our first, like, trip to Disney World, I was kind of one of those, was like, okay, it's just the People Mover.
Honestly, we didn't ride it our first trip.
We didn't, just because I don't think it was something that we felt like we needed to.
Yeah, and now that we've ridden it quite a few times, I am totally team People Mover. Like, I love it. It's such a nice break and kind of nostalgic, just because you go through and you see like Walt's vision of Epcot, which is amazing. And yeah, so I really like the People Mover. But
speaking of amazing, you've got Big Thunder Mountain Railroad,
which is arguably one of it's like top 1, 2 of like favorite rides in the park.
I think I can't say enough about it. I absolutely love it. We always go on it. We always try going on it multiple times. I remember like one trip we went on it like 4 or 5 times in one day.
Yeah.
At night is awesome. Right in the morning is great. This is gonna be a tough one.
I know where I'm leaning. I would choose Big Thunder.
I would choose Big Thunder. Okay. Yeah.
So that's
sorry for anyone who is a People Mover fan there. We are too. But, sometimes you just have to make the decision here. And that's how this is going to go. All right. The next bracket challenge we got here is the viewing fireworks and the fruit waffle sandwich from Sleepy Hollow.
It's really not
It's not a competition here. Let's just go ahead and move off fireworks here.
What?
What?
No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
No, the fireworks are amazing. Fireworks. Happily Ever After or Enchantment, I love them both. But I think regardless of which one you're dealing with or viewing, it's going to beat out a snack at Magic Kingdom.
Yeah, even though that snack is amazing.
It is. So we got Cinderella Castle versus Exploring Main Street USA.
Oh, well, you
And-
can't get to the castle without going down Main Street.
No, you can't, but you don't necessarily have to explore Main Street to get
That's
to the
true.
castle.
Yeah.
I feel like I have more fun taking, like, being in the hub, taking pictures by the castle.
Mhm.
Obviously, that's where the fireworks are.
Yeah,
It's
the beacon of magic right now.
Yes,
Amazing.
it's
Like,
so
just-
beautiful any day of any time of the day.
Mhm.
Not that I don't like Main Street. I will say, I think I kind of like Disneyland's Main Street a little better than Walt Disney World's. But Disneyland or Disney World's just seems like so much, like the buildings seem much taller, and it seems like it's so much further down.
Mhm.
And there's a lot to do on Main Street, but
Yeah.
it's also an expensive place. not that Disney World is cheap, regardless where you're going, but like,
Yeah.
you know, you're kind of spending money on Main Street where you don't have to spend any money at the castle.
That's true. And you get some amazing pictures.
Mhm.
Because you don't even have to go like right in front of the castle. There's some really cute off to the side like little, I don't know, like I wouldn't call them pavilions, but you kind of go off to the side a little bit.
Yeah, so when you go off to the side, I know there's the wishing well is over there, and there's even going from like the crosswalks from the hub to Liberty Square, you
Mhm.
have a little photo op there right by Sleepy
Yeah,
Hollow.
Yep.
And then it looks so nice going over the Tomorrowland's bridge,
Hmm.
or the kind of the bridge going towards Fantasyland.
Yeah.
So I think any way you look at the castle, it's beautiful.
you're gonna get
I really like it from the backside too, because you don't really, that doesn't really get a whole lot of
Yeah,
attention. But when
yep.
you're looking at it from like Fantasyland, from the carousel, and like just you see all like the stained glass on the back and all the spires, like it's such a beautiful
Yeah.
castle just to explore 360.
Yeah, for sure.
I
Right.
think that
Cindy's
makes
castle.
Yeah, Cindy's going ahead. All right, and then the last haunted, or the
Oh,
last Disney
gosh.
World one. This one I was so worried about because it's a tough one to begin with, and it's right off the bat. You have to pick between Haunted Mansion and Pirates.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Thanks, Jay.
Yeah, this is. These are both must-dos for me. These are,
They are, yes.
you know, I would say even Mansion is, if I can try to do a multiple.
Oh yeah,
time
for
of
sure.
day.
That's like, yeah, I want to ride that as many times as I can.
Yeah, I think
And-
Pirates is a little easier to do multiple times per day, depending on when you hit that wait time.
It depends. I know Mansion can get pretty long. I know it's like it's supposed to like be always moving and stuff, but the line can get really long for that
Mhm.
one. But I'm still gonna try to ride it as many times as I can.
Yeah.
Pirates, I think that was the last attraction that Walt worked on before he passed away. And so that just has, I don't know, just a lot of meaning. Like, you know,
Mhm.
anytime you bring Walt into it. But I know, you know, they worked really hard on the Haunted Mansion. That went through like so many different phases and stages
Yeah.
before it became its final thing. Like,
I don't know. I just, when I'm looking at these two, there's one that stands out to me that, I guess I don't want to compare everything to Disneyland, but if I'm comparing the two to the Disneyland version, which one's at Disney World is better?
mhm.
And then at that point, between those two, which one would I have, if I only had like 20 minutes in Magic Kingdom and I had to go to one of these rides, which one am I going to? And I think I have my answer.
Well, I already have my answer when we did our 4-park challenge. Like, I already had my ride picked out, so
Yeah.
I already know. Like, it's Haunted Mansion.
It's Haunted Mansion. Yeah. It's such a good ride. It's such a, yeah. I think of those original rides, and just
Mhm.
Haunted Mansion is just,
Well, and this is coming from a guy that doesn't like haunted houses.
I don't. I
You do
absolutely
not like-
hate haunted
yeah.
houses. I don't like being scared. I by no means do I think Haunted Mansion is scary.
No.
But I remember like the first time we were in it, because I knew of the ride, I knew of some of the show scenes, but I didn't know like particularly like how everything kind of
Worked
worked
together,
together.
yeah.
It was a ride where I was just kind of like, okay, I
Were
don't
you
want.
kind of waiting for something to like?
I was, and it happened
It did.
finally in the graveyard scene
And
because
it wasn't even the first time we wrote it.
no, it wasn't. But every single time that we go through that graveyard scene, like I don't like I should be like watching all like the ghosts like playing cards or riding bikes or all the different like the singing, heads, the busts or
Yeah.
whatever. I'm always worried about those damn goblins and ghouls that are hiding behind the headstones
Yep.
that get popped up, and like you can hear like the
Yep.
cylinders go up, and then like it just scares me.
It got you.
And one time it got me really
so
bad.
Good.
So like that's the only part of it that I do get scared about, just because I know that they're there, but I can never tell which headstone that they're hiding behind until it's too late.
Yeah. And then it gets you.
Then it gets me. All right, so let's go into round 2 of the Magic Kingdom brackets. Yes. We have Big Thunder Mountain versus Fireworks. Oh boy.
Oh gosh, so like riding Big Thunder as fireworks are going off.
Like, can we just combine those two and just
right?
advance that?
Oh.
I don't know. I always think that if I can only do one thing in Magic Kingdom, like I want to see the fireworks show. Mm-hmm. And as much as I love Big Thunder Mountain, I think that I would choose the fireworks just because I like there's music. It's a lot longer experience.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like my heart is telling me I should go with fireworks, but like I just love Big Thunder Mountain so much.
Yeah. So right now I just kind of struggle because I know the fireworks show right now is Enchantment, and it's fine. It's a good Disney show. I don't want to get into it too much. But if it was Happily Ever After, like there'd be no question. Like it's fireworks. So, but I can see, like I don't know like if I would necessarily choose Big Thunder over the fireworks show. So I
like if it's like 8:00 at night, it's ready. Crowds are kind of gathering for the fireworks show in the hub, and you're at I don't know, like Haunted Mansion. You can either go to the hub to watch fireworks, or you could go to Big Thunder Mountain. Which one are you choosing?
Honestly, I would probably choose right now to go to Big Thunder and watch like as the fireworks are going off.
Okay.
To be honest.
Okay.
But like I said, I can see the argument, and I'm assuming more people would choose the fireworks, so I'm okay.
I sure, because I'm okay conceding to this one, and I'd give you Big Thunder Mountain because I like this. I love that ride so much. So if you wanted to do Big Thunder Mountain over fireworks, we can go ahead and advance that.
Okay. I guess personally I would only because I know that the fireworks show right now is Enchantment.
Okay. That's totally fine.
That's personally what I would pick.
Okay, let's go ahead. I will concede to this one. We'll move Big Thunder Mountain on down to the next round.
Okay.
So going into the second bracket, we've got Cinderella's Castle versus Haunted Mansion.
Ooh. Okay. So you got the beautiful Cindy's Castle.
And then decrepit Haunted Mansion.
Yeah, I know.
Again, it's Cinderella's Castle. When I think of Magic Kingdom, like that's the first thing I think of. It's the first thing that comes to mind. It's the place that I want to take the most pictures around. It's the place that I want to be, like that's the status symbol of that park. Like if you went to Disney World and you were by Cindy's Castle, like you made it.
Yes.
But then like Haunted Mansion is just such a unique ride.
Iconic ride too. Like it's like you can't go to Magic Kingdom without riding Haunted Mansion.
Yes. I kind of, as much as I love Cinderella's Castle, I think we should move Haunted Mansion because then we're going to be going up against Haunted Mansion and Big Thunder Mountain for our final, and those are our top two rides.
Those are our top two rides.
And that's going to be a fun conversation to have. So as much as I love Cindy's Castle, let's go ahead. I think more people would agree with moving the attraction over.
That's what I was thinking too, because it's an attraction. Not that you can't spend a lot of time at the castle hub or around the castle, because you absolutely can. but I agree. I would pick Haunted Mansion.
Let's do it.
This. Yeah. Okay.
All right. So then we have the finale of the Magic Kingdom rounds. We got Big Thunder Mountain versus Haunted Mansion. Again, these are our top two favorite rides in all of Magic Kingdom. These are rides we have to do at least once. I remember
probably
just
multiple times.
Yes,
it's multiple times. Let's be honest.
I remember falling in love with Big Thunder Mountain. It's easily my favorite mountain out of all of them.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
Haunted Mansion,
But it's Haunted Mansion.
I know. It's so old school Disney. Like all of the magic, like the things that they use to make the things come to life and move and do what they do were invented how many years ago?
And like a lot of that stuff, like that's
it's still used today.
Yes.
Like, because it's that good.
Yeah.
But
as much as I love Big Thunder Mountain, the queue is amazing. The ride is so much fun. I do feel like there is room for improvement there. We've shown that to be the case, you know, being on Disneyland's version. There is room for improvement on Big Thunder Mountain. I mean, it's not like a huge margin of error on it.
Yeah.
But with Haunted Mansion, I just feel like how do you do better than that?
You can't. Like it's so I think we have it.
Yep.
It's Haunted Mansion.
All right. So our number one thing to do in Magic Kingdom is Haunted Mansion.
Yes. How do you feel about that?
To be honest, like I figured it was going to be one of the top thing, or you know, it was going to be up there for contention. I think it's our number two thing on the list in general, and that's how Jay ranked it, was number two. Totally get why. And
is this how you expected it to come out? Like, what were you kind of thinking?
To be honest, I had no idea. All I knew is that we were going to have an argument about the fireworks, and we weren't. And the fireworks weren't going to.
I thought you were going to push for the fireworks, so I thought fireworks was going to win.
And I figured once we get into what I'm assuming is going to win at Epcot, I didn't want to get into that argument there with which fireworks show is better and why. So I figured the fireworks show, I was going to have to concede that eventually. And if it was going to lose to anything, I was okay for it to lose to Big Thunder Mountain.
Okay. And just for the record, if it was Happily Ever After, it would be here right now.
Yeah.
Just saying.
No, 100%.
I'm just saying.
But the fireworks, as they stand right now with Enchantment, I understand that they wasn't going to make it to the end. It wasn't going to win it. And that's if and I'm okay with Big Thunder Mountain, you know, taking that win there. But I feel even better with Haunted Mansion.
I feel good about the decision.
Yes.
All right. So I think we're gonna move on to Epcot. All right. So for our first bracket for Epcot, we have Soarin' versus Voices of Liberty.
Two completely different things, completely different experiences here. We love them both. We've experienced them both several times. I gotta say that for how they are, for what they are, I love them for different reasons. But I would go with Soarin' in this situation here.
Yeah, I would pick Soarin' too. That's nothing against Voices of Liberty. They are amazing, and they obviously made our favorite things to do in Epcot, and you should definitely check them out. Because they're so good and so talented. But yeah, I'm gonna pick Soarin'.
There's just something about Frozen, or not Frozen. There's something about Soarin'. Just getting all those scents and the smells, feeling like you're actually flying. We've been very fortunate to get B1 quite a bit when we're there.
Yeah,
so
we've been pretty lucky.
If you know, you know.
If you know, you know.
It's one of my favorite rides. It's one of those rides you got to do multiple times. I love it.
Yeah, me too. All right, Soarin's moving on. And oh goodness,
I knew that at the moment I put these in the bracket, this was going to be the one that you're going to have the most difficulty with.
Okay, so we have Harmonious versus the UK Pavilion.
Now Harmonious is hands down the best. I would say the best just overall entertainment on property, the best show on property.
Yeah, for sure.
It's everything that I could have dreamed it was going to be. Hearing all of our favorite Disney songs in the native languages, getting the songs that we loved from Happily Ever After repurposed into this this show. The way that the barges come to life, Thanos' ship all lights up, and
definitely makes it worth it. As I know people complain about it being an eyesore,
and I see personally, I don't think it's an eyesore.
I don't mind it. Like, it really doesn't bother me. But I know that was like a lot of people's like, no, I can't believe they're doing that, or it looks so bad. And I'm like, it doesn't really bother me. So I think it's there, and it makes, like, it comes to life, and it's such an amazing show. Like, they really just hit it out of the park with this one. Like, I love it. I love it too.
Love it. But speaking of things that you love, why is the UK Pavilion on this list?
So I feel like the UK Pavilion's on here just for me because it's, well, and I know you like it too, but I don't think you like it.
I don't have the just the unruly love for it, I think, as you have.
I know people are just like, oh, what's your favorite pavilion? I think a lot of people say like Mexico or France, like UK Pavilion, please. Like, I just, like, it has Mary Poppins, Alice in Wonderland. You get the cute Winnie the Pooh topiaries for Flower and Garden Festival. Like, it just looks so cute. Like, you walk down like the cobblestone path into the back where the garden, and sometimes they'll have a piano player, and I just love it. And the shops, like, oh my gosh, like the cutest things in there, like, because they have like a whole like Winnie the Pooh like collection in one of them, and
even stuff that you figure wouldn't be in Disney. Like, they have like a section for like the Beatles, or like your coat of arms, and just kind of a little bit of unique type of experiences or shops there too. So not to mention, it's got your favorite one of your favorite spots to eat in Epcot.
Fish and chips. Oh my gosh. It's just a walk-up stand. Well, I think you can get it in the Rose and Crown, like the sit down. But the walk-up
is
Yorkshire, and they're delicious. Like, it's simple, but they just do it very well, and it's I just need to fit it in somehow with all the festival food. And
fun fact, that's the first place I ever tried tartar sauce.
Yep.
Thanks, Disney.
So I love the UK Pavilion. It's my favorite. You ask me what my favorite pavilion is, it's the UK Pavilion.
So you've got your favorite pavilion in all of Epcot, and you have your favorite nighttime show of really any park. I mean, I know which one is going to have to go forward here, but I just want you to make the decision so that way you don't.
You want me to say it? Oh, okay. It's Harmonious. Harmonious has to move on.
Of course.
Oh my gosh. I can't say like enough good things about Harmonious. It's just, that is the nighttime show to watch.
That's the show to watch.
Yes.
All right. So, I'm excited for it to go forward. I guess going into this, I kind of have a feeling that one's going to be, a contender for the number one, but we'll have to see what these next four are.
Yeah, we'll see. Okay. So the next bracket is Figment versus Frozen Ever After.
Oh, Figment.
Your boy Figment.
My boy Figment. I absolutely adore Figment. He is just so cute, and
he's just so fun and loving. Like, I don't know, you just can't help but love him. I don't know. But I feel some people are annoyed with him, and I think that's mostly because of his ride.
Right. And I think the ride is less to be desired just because of what the state of it is right now. They have had a better ride there in the past. We've only known this version current version of Journey into Imagination. But he's more than just a ride. He's more than just a topiary during Flower and Garden. He is like I think is the like official mascot of Epcot. When I think of Epcot, Figment is always comes to my mind. There's just something about that purple little dragon. It's just so cute. And
he is very cute. I love him too. I think he just gets he gets a lot of hate, but we love him, so he's on our list. But he's going up against Frozen Ever After,
which is a fantastic ride.
I love Frozen Ever After.
Me too.
It's just so good, and I don't know. I love the scene where you're getting blown past marshmallow and you go down, and I just love it. I just wish it was a little bit longer. Like it just as soon as it's getting really good, it's like, oh, and it's over.
Yes, I think the ride itself does warrant a high wait just because that Elsa animatronic is so amazing. It's so fluid. You feel like you're actually in that ice palace, listening to her and watching her perform Let It Go. It's such an amazing experience. I absolutely love it. I think it was a good replacement for the Maelstrom. I know people are going to be mad at me for saying that, but it is what it is. But it's one of those rides in Epcot that we always have to go to.
And the queue, I love the queue.
Oh yeah, it's one of the best queues.
Yeah, it's so cute, and you get to go through Oaken's, Wandering Oaks. Yeah. Like it's just, I love it. It's so cute, and in your little boat, and that you get to go in.
You're kind of like you're in the land. Like it kind of feels like you're like walking through like the town at night and Arendelle at night, and I don't think it's maybe as detailed oriented as maybe some of like the bigger rides queues, but I think it's one of the best queues in Disney, and it just adds to the experience. It adds to the ride, and it's such a fun little ride.
Yeah. So which one are you picking? Do you have
Well, I think with Figment you not only get the ride, albeit as it is, but you also get the merchandise. You get you get to see him as, I wish they had like Figment walking around,
oh my gosh,
like as a costume character. Like I would just spend all day just hanging out with Figment and then going to hang out and watch Harmonius at night. That's all I would do in Epcot. There's nothing else I need. I'm done. But Frozen, it's such an awesome experience.
Yeah, it is.
I don't know. Really, like, what are you leaning towards?
I have one in mind. I would pick Frozen.
Okay.
But I can see the argument for Figment if that's what you were going to choose.
No, I think as much as I love Figment, I know that's, there are other opinions to be had, and I do agree that Frozen is fantastic. So let's go ahead and move Frozen ahead.
We'll do Frozen.
All right.
Okay. So for our next bracket, we have Spaceship Earth lit up at night versus the Flower and Garden Festival.
This is hands down the hardest decision I feel like we're going to have, regardless of any park or category or bracket. This was such a hard thing for me to type out. I'm like, I wanted to be like, Sammy, can we just change something around? Can we throw like Voices of Liberty against one of these two? Nothing against, again, Voices of Liberty, but like I needed something to make it
a little easier.
Make it a little easier.
Okay. So, we'll start with Spaceship Earth at night because boy, is she so pretty.
She's the prettiest girl in school.
Oh my gosh. Like of all the beacons,
hands down the best beacon.
The best one.
Even better than Cinderella Castle.
Oh yeah, even better than the castle. Like just the lights that they actually installed on Spaceship Earth you can do different patterns, you can make it go to music, like it just.
And not only because like the beacon, like they have multiple different like little shows that play, so it's not just one beacon, which I kind of get is like they have that at the other parks too, but like these are unique shows, and it's a pretty long segment depending on which one you get. And then not only those, but then they tie it in with the festival specific kind of lighting packages. It's just so beautiful. We spent,
oh my gosh, I don't even remember how much time we spent.
We spent so much time there one night just because we wanted to take all the pictures, just soak it in. Like we took so many pictures, and I look back at those pictures, it doesn't do it justice.
No, it doesn't. It's so beautiful, and you can just spend so much time up there at night. Like it's just
the whole pretty, and it really says welcome to Epcot.
Yeah.
But then on the other hand,
Flower and Garden,
it's got that beautiful that beautiful nest across the entire park.
Yeah.
The topiaries are incredible. The booths are so delicious. They really make it a colorful, vibrant place to be.
Mm-hmm.
It smells beautiful when you're there because of all the flowers. It's
our favorite festival.
It's hands down our favorite
Yeah.
festival.
So that makes it hard because like you're putting like a whole festival up against like Spaceship Earth, but it's really hard to choose. I don't know. Do you have like?
I think I'm leaning towards Flower and Garden.
Oh,
and the reason I say
okay.
that is because before the new lighting package on Spaceship Earth, there still was lights on Spaceship Earth.
Yes.
It was, albeit it wasn't like, as crazy beautiful as it is now, but there was still lights on Spaceship Earth, and like you'd still get some really nice pictures on it.
Yeah.
But then Flower and Garden, there's just so much more to take in.
I know, that's why I'm like, it's a whole festival.
But then again, there's festivals all the time.
That's true. And regardless, like if you're not going during a festival time, there's still so much good food there to eat.
Mm-hmm. I know this one's going to be really hard for me. I'm okay going either way on this one. So, I would be okay, with whatever one you'd want to go with. I know that's so hard to do.
Well, I guess like, I don't know. I would, initially I was thinking Spaceship Earth at night, but I don't want to say I feel bad, but like, I mean, it's going up against a whole festival. So then I feel like the festival should, take the win on this one.
Yeah. I think when you're compiling but in this instance, does it come with the idea that the Flower and Garden Festival is also going to have a special lighting package on Spaceship Earth, so that way we would still get that during Flower and Garden? Because if that's the case, then that makes it very easy to go through.
Yeah, I mean, it does come with it, so.
But then again, like Spaceship Earth at night, all lit up, is a singular experience as opposed to an idea of a festival. I guess now more than I'm talking about it out loud, then I'm kind of like, okay, maybe Spaceship Earth should go through.
That was my initial, like, I was like, yeah, I think it's Spaceship Earth, but now I'm just like, but I don't know, should that win over a whole festival?
But I think putting a whole festival up against one thing is a little unfair. Like if we put like the topiaries of Flower and Garden, that would be a little bit more a level playing field because it's just one singular thing up at the festival. It's not like you're putting up the Spaceship Earth lights up against all the topiaries, the Violet Lemonade, all like the Sunshine Griddle place. There's so much more that comes along to Flower and Garden than just a lighting package on Spaceship Earth. So this was, like I said, this was gonna be a hard one for me, but I think it makes more sense in terms of how we are planning this out to move the lighting package of Spaceship Earth ahead.
Okay, because that's what I think when it comes, like, that's what I would pick.
Okay, we're gonna do it, and then we're not gonna double question it.
Okay,
we're just gonna put Spaceship Earth and go ahead and we'll deal with those ramifications later.
Okay, so that brings us back around. So we have Soarin' versus Harmonious. Sorry,
Harmonious.
Soarin'.
Harmonious. Just we don't even need to talk about this one. Really I love you, Soarin'. I will go on you all the time, but Harmonious is just incredible.
Okay. And then that leaves us with Frozen versus Spaceship Earth at night.
I think it's one of those again where I don't think we need to overthink this.
It's Spaceship Earth.
It's Spaceship Earth at night.
Yeah.
I love you, Frozen. Nothing against you, but we had to make some choices here, and by doing that, we have a very difficult final two for Epcot.
Okay, so we have Harmonious versus Spaceship Earth lit up at night. Two
incredible things to do. It's what makes Epcot nightlife just, probably some of the best on property.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Like, it's really not a competition for me.
It's not a competition for me, but I just feel bad saying bye to Spaceship Earth.
I know. I know.
I knew going into this Epcot one that regardless what went up against it, it
was
wasn't going to be
always
good.
going to
It
be
was always going to be
Harmonious.
Harmonious.
There's no way. Like, it's just, like I said before, I just can't say enough good things about Harmonious. It's everything you want in a nighttime spectacular.
Mhm.
Like, the music, it's just amazing. Like, we listen to the soundtrack all the time, like the fireworks and the water show. Like, it just all in one is
It's
just
incredible.
It's incredible. So Harmonious.
Yep, all the way.
All the way. All right.
All right, so let's switch gears and head on over to Hollywood Studios.
All right.
All right. So first up on this list, we have Rise of the Resistance. Easy pick for number one.
Mm-hmm.
Going up against Potato Land.
Oh, what a matchup.
Let's just go ahead and put Potato Land on through right away. I appreciate Jace help in this, but like I don't think that he understands how much we love Potato Land.
Oh, we love Potato Land here.
It's such a unique photo opportunity. It's such a silly, goofy short. Obviously, if you're going to pair it up against Rise of the Resistance, it's going to win. So I don't even know why.
I don't even know why we're talking about it.
No, I mean, come on. Rise of the Resistance, it is a masterpiece. It is a masterclass in how you make an attraction. Mm-hmm. There are like several different attractions inside the attraction.
Yeah, like it's just a whole experience.
Yes.
Like I remember the first time we got to ride it, I couldn't, like, my jaw was just on the floor the whole time.
Yeah,
like
it's such a long experience.
It is, yeah.
Too. So like it's not just like going in and watching Star Tours or Muppet 3D or Muppet Vision 3D. Like you're there, you're experiencing it, like you're actually part of that story for like 15-20 minutes.
Yeah. It's amazing. Like, and it really, really sets the bar for what you can do with rides and attractions, and just making it a whole big experience.
Yeah. So as much as I'd love to give Potato Land its 15 minutes of extra fame here, we'll save that maybe for another episode as why Potato Land is a better experience than Rise of the Resistance.
Oh, goodness.
I think Rise has to go on.
Yeah, it's definitely Rise.
All right. So going into our next pairing, we've got Slinky Dog Dash. This is particularly going at it at night, riding it at night, versus the Frozen Sing-Along.
Yeah.
Two really different type of experiences,
but both very fun.
Very, very fun. And I guess I'll hit why I wanted to put specifically Slinky Dog at night is because I feel that some people might be looking at this list and be like, well, where's Fantasmic on this list? We didn't actually have never done Fantasmic.
We didn't. The only time we could have done it was our very first trip. And I feel like there was just so much to do. And at the time they had the Star Wars show in front of the Chinese theater. And that was like our main motivation for making that first trip was Star Wars. Like, Galaxy's Edge was opening, and Rise of the Resistance had just opened and all of that. So that was like our main reason and motivation for going for that first trip. So we're just like, well, there's like this Star Wars show at night. Like, let's watch that. So we, not to say, I mean, we didn't really know that much about Fantasmic or anything, so we just, we're just like, well, it's Star Wars, so let's watch it. And that's what we watched.
And one night, and then the following nights, which I know we had tried to make time for Fantasmic.
We did.
But we wound up being in line or in queue for Slinky Dog Dash. And I remember we were just kind of turning around to the back part of the queue, or like right before the loading zone. And I remember fireworks going off, and obviously that was for Fantasmic. So I've seen briefly a couple fireworks shoot off from it.
Yeah.
But we were actually in queue for Slinky Dog at that time. So we've never done
Yes, we've never
did.
seen it. So that's why that's not on our particular list at this time.
Correct. So that's why I wanted to make sure that we did. Not that, and Slinky Dog Dash is fun regardless, but I think it is much better at night. I think it
It's so
is a
fun.
fun experience.
Yeah.
It's such a unique experience seeing
And
everything
we,
lit up at night.
and we try to do that with several rides. Like if we can ride them during the day and make it a point to do them at night, because it's different. They hit different. And yeah, if you can catch pretty much any ride at night while fireworks are going off, like that's amazing. I mean, I know that's a choice you have to make, but you won't regret it.
So between these two, it's kind of difficult for me because I look at Slinky Dog, and as much as I love it, I don't love waiting for it. I will refuse to wait if it's more than an hour. And I think that's just kind of a general rule in general at Disney World for us, is that I don't want to wait a long time.
Like I pretty much anything we're not waiting over 45
right, so
50 minutes for things.
When
like
it comes to Slinky Dog, as amazing as it is,
it always has a long
wait.
And it's a hot wait, because I know they put the umbrellas there, but like in the extended part of the queue, like it's sun, unless you can get right under one of those umbrellas. Like it's really hot, and
but when it comes to Frozen Ever After, or the Frozen sing-along, I should say, in Hollywood Studios, you're pretty much just waiting for that next show to get done. And it's such a nice little cool down and a relaxation attraction to stay at. The narrators are so incredibly fun and hilarious. I know we've talked about that in a separate podcast before. And it's Snopes, and you get to see, all your favorite characters from there. This is a tough one for me.
It is for me too. And yeah, I guess for me, it's not like a clear winner. But given the choice, I think I have my answer.
I think so too, but I'm not like 100% on it.
Yeah, like I could be swayed either way. Like if we were in the parks and we were wanting to, like, I guess, do one or the other, or we were kind of like debating on what to do.
Right. I will say that I think maybe we should do a 3-2-1 just to see what we come up with.
Okay.
But just as a reminder, whoever wins this one goes up against Rise of the Resistance.
Yeah.
So I don't think
in the end, I don't think it's going to matter too much.
Yeah.
Plus, they're on our favorite. It made the top 8 favorite things, so you can't go wrong either way.
So we'll see what happens. Yeah. But I think do you want to do like a 3-2-1?
Sure, we can do a 3-2-1.
Okay, 3, 2, 1.
Slinky. Frozen.
Okay.
Oh. Okay.
I'm good with either of these. I will say that Frozen is probably the attraction that we're most likely to go see because it doesn't have a long wait, and I think that's probably what is going to set it apart from Slinky Dog Dash. Like, I don't want to really rope drop it and have to wait 40-50 minutes when I could be doing other things. I don't want to wait 60-80 90 minutes throughout the day in the hot sun. When it comes down to, if I had to base this solely off of wait times, we're gonna go with Frozen. Okay, and I think that's a safe bet.
Yeah, and I guess you're putting an attraction up against a ride. Well, we can go Slinky Dog. I'm okay. I'll give you Slinky Dog.
Okay, let's do Slinky Dog.
I'll
then.
do Slinky Dog.
I was prepared to go ahead and put Frozen sing along ahead of time, but yeah, we'll put Slinky Dog in it.
That's fine.
Okay, cool. All right, we're gonna go to our next matchup, and these are two incredible rides for different reasons. We have Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway versus Rock and Roller Coaster featuring Aerosmith. Such a rush to go on Aerosmith.
Best 90 seconds you'll experience.
I remember just freaking out. I don't even think you opened up your eyes for most of the ride.
The first time I rode it, my eyes were shut the whole time. This was one I was scared for because I knew it was the fastest one, and you went upside down. Like, I almost chickened out. Like, I was scared for this one, and I love roller coasters. But yeah, my eyes were just shut the whole time.
Yeah.
But I love it. It's such a rush. Like, in the music, like, I mean, I know it's Aerosmith, but it's still really good.
It's so good. I love that it's a unique experience anytime you go, because you get a different soundtrack, or they have, I think 6 different.
Yeah, I don't remember.
6 different limos that you can get.
Yeah.
that have 2 songs on each. I think
Yeah.
one of them has one, but regardless, it's a different song for the most time when you go on there.
Yep.
It's so exhilarating. It's so much fun. You have to fix your hair when you're done with it because it's all over the place.
Yeah.
I love it. But then again, you have, on the other hand, Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. One of the newer rides in the park, and it's
Mickey's first
main attraction.
That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
and it's not even in Magic Kingdom,
I know.
where you think it would probably be. But yes, it's such a different type of ride. You get transported into.
I mean, let's be honest.
cartoon.
I mean, it's just like Rise of the Resistance.
Yes. Sure, we can say that. I don't know if that's actually going to. Yeah, sure. Let's say that Rise of the Resistance is just Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway in Star Wars. Let's see how many people we can make mad.
Okay. Yeah, not to stir any feathers, but it uses the same ride vehicles as Rise. But I think it's so cute. I know it replaced the Great Movie Ride, which I have no feelings for. I know. I know a lot of people are really upset about that, but we don't have any connection to the Great Movie Ride.
Not one bit.
I love Mickey.
Don't care one bit. Sorry, not sorry.
Yeah. Sorry, not sorry. Okay. Yeah, I love Mickey and Minnie's. It's
I do too.
Such a cute attraction. I love the little queue and the pre-show.
Like you actually feel like you stepped into that
cartoon.
That cartoon once even seeing the cartoon kind of explode open and then Goofy like kind of breaking that fourth wall.
Yeah.
Having that interaction and like, entering into that train station. It's just such a different experience.
Yeah.
It's very cute. It's very parts of it are very cheesy, and I think that's what it's meant to be because it's you're in a cartoon.
Mm-hmm.
But the scenes are amazing. I love the carnival scene where there's the twister that comes through, and you just feel all that air just blowing around.
Yeah, and I always try to find a new hidden Mickey because there's so many in this ride. Like I always try to find a new one.
Mm-hmm. Not to mention, it's also got the introduction to Chubby into the parks.
Oh my gosh,
and Chubby is so cute.
Like, he is just the cutest thing. Like, it just right at the end of the ride, like, he's just up there, like, making all his faces, doing his scenes. Like,
I love when we get onto that, or we're just finishing up that ride, and there must be something going on in the loading zone because they're, like, taking out, like, a wheelchair-bound patient, or a wheelchair-bound...
so you get an extra few minutes.
So you get an extra few minutes. You just see Chubby just kind of, like, shaking his butt and playing, juggling eggs, or whistling along.
Or blowing kisses
at you. It's such a cute experience. I love that they've created this original character for this ride, and I feel like they need more Chubby. I know
we've talked about that before, and I'm all like, because I remember we tried to find Chubby merchandise
and it's difficult.
Like and you don't get dumped into store,
a typical gift shop.
It's just kind of a little pop-up stand that has a little bit of the merchandise, and not a lot of Chubby stuff, and I was really disappointed by that.
But I think in my preference, as much as I love Rock and Roller Coaster, I love the uniqueness of Runaway Railway. I love all the different scenes and getting to like actually interact with these characters inside their own cartoon. I would pick Mickey and Minnie's over Rock and Roller Coaster.
I would too, and I think Rock and Roller Coaster is due for a little bit of an update. Like I think it needs something different than Aerosmith.
You know what? That kind of sounds like it might be a good episode to kind of go over. Maybe we should retheme that. Stay tuned for that.
All right, so Mickey and Minnie's is going on. Yes,
it's going on. And it's going to go up against the winner between the next category here, which is or the next two items on the list here. Trying to think of what I'm talking about here. We've got the Ronto Wrap from Ronto Roasters in Batu, or the Wookiee Cookie in Backlot Express.
Yeah, ooh, some good snacks.
Some good snacks here. What are you doing? If you're watching on the YouTube version of the podcast, our dog Lacey has come on to make a little surprise appearance here underneath the table.
She's come to say hello.
Hi, can we get back to doing this? Yeah, let's go back to to do our podcast here, Linda Lace. You can stay here if you want, though.
Yeah, you can stay and hang out with us.
All right, so Ronto Wrap versus the Wookiee Cookie.
Savory versus sweet.
Both iconic, both fantastic. I absolutely love the Ronto Wrap. I do love the option that you get a breakfast option with it,
Yeah,
too.
they make a really good breakfast with an egg and... is it the same sauce or is it like a...
I think it's the same sauce and
Yeah.
same... I think it just has an egg in it.
Just has an egg.
It doesn't have that crunchy coleslaw.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
on
not
it.
the coleslaw.
And then there's a... I think there's a vegetarian version. That might just be in Disneyland, though.
No, I think Disney World has it too.
Okay. So that's amazing there. And the Wookiee Cookie.
Oh my gosh. It's like, it's 2 oatmeal cookies, like soft, like really soft, like oatmeal cookies with frosting in the middle. And it's just a big like cookie sandwich. It's so good.
It sounds so simple.
Which
it's probably like the best like $4 or $5 you're gonna spend.
Oh my gosh. And it's huge. So it's like you can easily share it with a few people.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Which we love doing, because then you get more snacks that way.
But when it comes down to it, I feel like the Wookiee Cookie, as Instagrammable as it is, because it's got like Chewbacca's kind of like
his like sash.
Yeah, across the top of it. It's just an oatmeal cream pie. Ronto Wrap, I feel, is something that's a little more unique to the park, or a unique type of experience, like an eating experience. So I would personally choose Ronto Wrap to go ahead here.
Yeah, I would pick that too.
Okay, perfect. Let's go ahead and add Ronto Wrap to round 2. All right. And let's go ahead and go on to the next competition. We got Rise of the Resistance going up against Slinky Dog Dash at Night. Again, Rise it's almost like in the Epcot category where we were comparing Flower and Garden to Spaceship Earth at Night. It's like they're both really good things, but like Flower and Garden is a whole experience.
Yeah.
Like Rise of Resistance, it's a whole experience. Like there's so much going on. And Slinky Dog, as much fun as it is just a roller coaster.
Yeah.
And not like, a crazy thrilling roller coaster, although it has its moments there. But I think this is going to work in Rise's favor.
Yeah.
Because there's so much more to it.
Yeah, for sure.
And I love Slinky Dog. I love, getting pulled back and getting shot out there and wheezy at the end. But
wheezy singing at you. Yeah.
There's just...
It's really not that much of a competition. I think we all know it's Rise.
All right. And then for the last 2 in our bracket here, we've got Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway versus the Ronto Wrap. I think this is another one we really don't have to talk about too much.
Yeah.
The Ronto Wrap is the clear favorite here. We're going to have to go up against two things from Galaxy's Edge at the end.
Yeah.
We're gonna keep this going. We're gonna start doing this. No, I think it's gotta be.
I was like, I can get on board with this.
Oh yes, okay. Make the argument for a Ronto Wrap is better than Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway.
No. It's Mickey and Minnie's.
Yeah. Which then brings us to the final 2 of Hollywood Studios, which shouldn't be, I guess, a huge surprise. Rise of the Resistance versus Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. The last, or I guess the 2 biggest rides in the park, I would say. Yeah,
like you have Rise, like the big main thing, but then you have Mickey and Minnie's, which is the newest attraction in the park.
I love these rides for what they are for 2 separate reasons.
Yeah.
But I think Rise just might pull away just because it's more of a total package. It's so immersive.
And I just, as much as I love Mickey and Minnie's, like I don't know. Like you really pick that over Rise?
Right. And if I had to like pay the extra individual lightning lane for one of the 2 rides, it's gonna be Rise of the Resistance. I'm not gonna pick that for Mickey's. We find ways to work around to get onto Rise to not have to wait for such a long time. It's the full package of a ride. I think it makes the most sense that it's got to be our clear number 1 favorite thing. It came into the competition as the number one thing
Yep.
according to Jay's rankings. It was the first thing I wrote down when we thought of the things for Hollywood Studios.
And I think for a lot of people too, like that's just what you think of now when you think of Hollywood Studios.
It's
so
the
it
two
just,
and Holly. It's Rise of Resistance,
Yeah.
in particular. So that's gonna go ahead, and that's gonna make it to the final four.
Ooh. No one saw that coming.
No one saw that coming.
All right. Okay. So moving on to our last park.
Yes.
Last but not least.
Animal Kingdom.
Yes. Okay. So starting off for Animal Kingdom, we have Pandora at Night versus Kite Tales.
Ooh.
Kite Tales.
Woohoo. We got Kite Tales. It's the newest addition to Animal Kingdom at the time of recording here. Such a fun little show.
So fun.
Even when it goes wrong, it's fun.
It is, yeah. It's such a cute show.
It is. And then going up against Pandora at Night. And this is particularly just because it's so beautiful at night.
It is. We definitely made time for this on our last trip to Disney World, and it just doesn't disappoint. It's so beautiful.
Like, what are your initial thoughts on this one? Because part of me is like wanting to make a strong case for Kite Tales here.
I am too. Like I don't know. Like I don't really like Avatar. I think Pandora in general, it's
very beautiful.
It's beautiful. It just doesn't have a lot. And I think that's why we picked Pandora at Night, because I think that's not something a lot of people would really think to do or make time to do.
Right.
Like, because I think like you go to Animal Kingdom in the morning and then maybe park hop or go back to the resort or do whatever for the rest of the day or afternoon.
And I think when people think of Pandora in general, they think of like getting on Flight of Passage. Or I don't know, maybe getting on Naughty
spoiler
River.
alert, Flight of Passage didn't even make our favorite list.
No.
It's not on here. So,
and it's not to say that we don't like Flight of Passage by any means. It's just, it's such a long wait. It's a good ride, but I just...
There's a reason why Soarin' made the list and Flight of Passage didn't make the list. Sorry. I don't know. It just, like, it's good. It is. It's a good ride. It's just, there's so many other things that I would pick to do over Flight of Passage.
I think if Flight of Passage, like if they had that type of ride in Avengers Campus on a Disneyland that was like Marvel related, then it'd be like, yes, it's amazing. It's so much better. But like, I just think I think just Pandora in general just seems a little disassociated with me with Animal Kingdom. Like, I understand where it belongs there. It's very beautiful. It focuses on nature and relationships between nature and man. Like, I get that's what they were trying to do to theme it in there. 100% get it. I'm fully on board with it. It's just the IP in general.
Yeah,
is not
like we just
something...
don't have that connection with Avatar or Pandora. So we just don't have that connection with it. And
so as much as we love, like, Flight of Passage, nothing that just kind of stops there. Like, I don't have like an overwhelming, like, really deep connection to want to like really explore more of that. But when it comes to Pandora at Night, then things change.
Yeah, they did such a good job. Like, I think they made that park so they could like just light it up and make it so amazing at night. Like, and I think that's where it like really shines is at night.
And I think that it serves a really good purpose at night, which is why we love it so much at night. Is that park obviously can't have fireworks going off because of all the animals around there. So you need to do something visually stunning and beautiful into that park, but make it so that the animals can still live there.
Right.
Which is why they have the lighting package on the Tree of Life.
Yep.
Which is why they used to have Rivers of Lights.
Yeah, and that had no fireworks.
And that had no fireworks.
A really, really beautiful, like, lit up water show. Yes. I really liked it.
Bring that back.
Yeah, that was really good.
So, like, that when you have Pandora being able to, light it up with all that bioluminescence and give it like a different, it almost feels like you're going to a different part of the park, or like a brand new park when you go in there at night. Serves its purpose, but everything else in that part of the park, I'm just kind of like, okay, it's there. Like, I'd rather, go on the safari or go to Everest, which is, what we'll, be talking about here in a little bit.
Yeah.
But there's other things in Pandora specifically that I would rather do, or the other things in the other part of the parks that I would rather do than spend time in Pandora throughout the day. But when it hits at night, it hits different.
It does. Yeah. But like you said, I would kind of make the argument for Kite Tales. There's 2 different shows during the day. You have Lion King and Jungle Book, and I don't know, like I think you just go grab a good snack or a drink, like your coffee, and you just sit and have such a good time. I don't know. I think I'm team Kite Tales on this one.
I think I don't even think this is really a controversial thing for me to say, but like I'm okay putting Kite Tales through.
Okay.
Like, let's do it.
Okay, let's do it.
Yeah.
I like this.
Yes.
I feel good about this.
Let's do it. Kite Tales. It is typed in and we can't go back.
Nope. Okay, on to the next one. All right, so we have Tree of Life versus Satuli Canteen.
Ooh. Like this almost seems like disproportionately like unfair for Satuli Canteen, just because like Tree of Life is like the beacon. It's the thing that you first see when you kind of walk around the oasis and you're getting in there, like which, fun fact, the first time we were in Magic Kingdom, or not Magic Kingdom, Animal Kingdom, we rope dropped Flight of Passage, talking about Pandora just before.
Yeah.
Completely, I didn't even recognize the Tree of Life.
No, we were just with the herd and we were just all booking it to to Flight of Passage.
I mean, I was like literally like long stride, like running to Flight of Passage. And I didn't even like really recognize or see the Tree of Life, which I feel so bad for. That was my first experience walking through the oasis, down the bridge into like that kind of little hub area.
Yeah.
I didn't even see the tree or even bother to look at the tree.
Yep.
And I feel so bad because that tree is so beautiful.
I love it.
And to compare that tree and like everything around it and all of like the walking trails and the animals that inhabit that tree and all the animals that are carved in the tree.
Oh my gosh.
Against a restaurant.
I know, but
as good as that restaurant is, it just seems so unfair to put them up against each other.
But Satuli Canteen has some of the best food. I mean, definitely in Animal Kingdom, but across like all 4 parks. Like, I mean, it is so good. Like the bowls that you can make there,
and they're customized.
Yeah, you get to choose like your protein and all the toppings and sauce and stuff that you put on top, and the cheeseburger pods. Oh my gosh, it's so good. But yeah, putting it up against the Tree of Life probably isn't fair.
Yeah, and like in general, as much as I love Satuli Canteen and like what it has to offer, like I understand like it's just a restaurant, and as much as as good as it is, and it is one of the best on property, I feel just for like a unique type of experience.
Yeah.
I don't even know if it's one of the best places to eat in Animal Kingdom. So it's weird to say like it's one of the best, but maybe not best in Animal Kingdom.
I wouldn't I don't know, like that's probably one of the first things I think of to eat.
Do. But I think regardless of where we rank the restaurant itself and what it has there, the Tree of Life is just so incredible.
Yeah. So Tree of Life.
We're gonna go ahead and move the Tree of Life ahead of time, or in Frontier.
Yes.
All right. What do we got next here?
Oh goodness. Okay, so we have Expedition Everest.
Oh, my favorite ride in that park.
Dinosaur.
Another really good ride in that park. Expedition Everest is hands down my favorite ride to do in Animal Kingdom. I know a lot of people will navigate toward the safaris, but I could do Expedition Everest the entire day and
not get sick of it. Yeah,
I absolutely love that ride. And that's going up against Dinosaur, which is probably one of your favorite rides in the park. It's
definitely one of my favorite rides, and I can't I don't know why it is. I think because it's thrilling and it's supposed to be scary, but
it is scary.
It is scary, and I think that's why I love it so much. But yeah, every time I ride, I'm like, I love this ride, and I do. I really, really love it.
Yeah, and we kind of talked about it with Haunted Mansion, like that's supposed to be like that scary haunted house. Like I don't like Dinosaurs, the ride that gets me. Like I remember the first time going on that ride, like I was scared. Like I thought I was gonna poop my pants. Like I was so worried about this ride. it's just like when that's the Carnosaurus or whatever that
Yeah.
it comes down and like you drop down the hill and it's about to eat you, and like I just like I remember looking at her photo pass and I was
We're
just
gonna
so
die.
scared. Like I don't care about our dino anymore. Like I just want to get out of here. So that is the one ride in Disney that does honestly like kind of scare me or freak me out a little bit.
Yeah. I don't, I love it. But going up against Expedition Everest, I'm going to choose Expedition Everest.
100%.
Like,
Every single time. Just the going up there, getting in the Yeti, and then going down that big drop hill. It's just
plus
such a fun ride.
Views you get
my God,
going up there, like it's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So hands down,
it
it's
makes
Everest.
total sense that Everest goes ahead here. So let's go ahead and add that in here. And what we got for our last two?
All right. So our last two is Festival of the Lion King versus Safari.
This is going to be a difficult one.
This one is going to be tough.
I think that whatever one we do here, like people are going to kind of have some opinions on it.
Yeah. Well, okay. So you have Festival of the Lion King, like,
which I think is one of the best just shows, like non like fireworks shows.
Yeah.
Obviously, but just best shows on property.
Yeah, it's so good.
Mm-hmm.
It is like they just. I don't know. It just like the theatrics of it is just amazing. And then you have like those big, I guess, animatronics. I don't know, the big sets. Like you have, Pumbaa and Simba, like just really like, I don't know, like bigger than life. And like they're so cute. And
we've seen a couple different versions of the show because of COVID.
Like pre-COVID and like COVID
but like
shows.
Getting the tumble monkeys and the two birds that kind of get lifted up and they do like the acrobatics in the air, and it's just it doesn't matter what version of the show that we have seen, it is 100% an incredible show.
Yes.
I remember the first time we went to Disney World, we were sitting in line for the Magical Express. RIP. And the lady there was like, if you're going to do anything in Animal Kingdom, like you need to do this. And she was like hardcore. Like if there was ever a Festival of the Lion King fan club, like she was the one that created it. She is like the chapter member. And we were like, yeah, let's go do it. And like, I remember like after leaving that show, I'm like, yeah, like that is 100% correct. Like I completely understand why she like made sure that people saw that show.
And I remember for our first trip, we were doing research and you had come across it and you're like, oh yeah, they have like a Lion King show there too. Like we should probably check that out. And I'm like, yeah, we probably should. Like we like, the theater, we like musicals and all that. So it's right up our alley. Like, thinking it was just going to be a fun, like little show or whatever, but no, it's like, it's amazing. It is so good.
There's crowd participation in it. Like you get like, I think one of the coolest things that depending on where you sit, like you get to walk across like the performing area to get to the exit. So like the last trip that we went there, like we got to take pictures with like the big elephant and Pumbaa while we're there. So like you get to be up close to these set pieces if you're lucky. And it was such an incredible experience, and it's something that we have to do every single time that we get the opportunity to go to Animal Kingdom.
Yes, but it's going up against like the staple, I would say, of the park, which is the safaris. Like
I feel like the entire park was created around that safari. Like you don't get Animal Kingdom with Expedition Everest or the Satuli Canteen or Pandora without having that safari there. That's that staple. We've had really good experiences on the safari.
Yeah, I think like every time, like I don't think we've ever had like, I wouldn't say a bad one.
No. But I feel like there are some times where like, we'll see like a lion, but they're just kind of like sleeping.
They're sleeping, yeah.
I think the last time we were on it, we had some really good experiences seeing the elephants kind of up and roaming around. And the giraffes have always been kind of hit or miss, but there's sometimes we get a giraffe really close.
Yeah, and it's just amazing. And like, and how it's set up, like you don't see the barriers or like you don't see any kind of fencing or anything like that to like separate the different areas,
so it almost looks like the alligators are in the same places as the hyenas as the lions, like
like they could just easily like go from one area to the other, but there are barriers in place to like keep the animals in their respected places. And it feels like you're in like a legit safari. Like,
because I mean, you are
yeah.
at the wildlife reserve is so huge there.
Yeah, it is.
And, you are on the savannah and out there, and it's such a simple concept that's very difficult to master that Disney did it tremendously well.
Yeah, it's just this thing, like, they take simple things and they just do them so well. And the cast members that are driving the safari vehicles,
they're so knowledgeable.
They are, and they really make, like, cast members, like, they are the best. Like, they really make the Disney magic. And yeah, like, they always have, like, you just walk away, like, learning something new.
Oh yeah.
And I love that. And like, they know, like, their names, or like there's like a new baby that was born, they'll point that out, like, just all this fun stuff. And yeah, it's really at the heart of that park. And So
I guess if you're pairing it up against Festival of the Lion King, so you've got that heart of the park versus like just a celebration of one of Disney's greatest films and a celebration of what it means to be at Animal Kingdom, be an animal. Like, it's just it's such a hard thing to pick between the two.
Yeah, it is. I think I know what I would pick.
Okay, what are you leaning towards?
I'm leaning towards the safari.
I would too. I think they both have like a rewritability, or you can keep going back to both of them and get to learn new things. But the safari, it is exactly what you said it is.
Yeah.
It is the staple of Animal Kingdom. Yeah. I think it would be difficult to not have it go through, or at least be a contender for one of the best things to do in that park. Yeah. However, it's going up against Festival of the Lion King, so it was going to be a tough fight.
Yeah. Yep. But all right. Well, safari is going to go through. All right. So that brings us back around to our next matchup, which is Kite Tales versus the Tree of Life.
Okay. I'm going to say the same thing I did last time. I really want to make a case for Kite Tales here.
Okay, let's hear it.
I think Kite Tales, there is so much that can go wrong that it makes it such a right answer here. Like, I love Kite Tales. I'm a proud stan of that. Yeah. It's such an incredibly fun, quirky show. Even when it goes wrong, it's so good.
You're still having a good time.
It's still having a good time here. And the Tree of Life,
it's the centerpiece of the park.
It's the centerpiece of the park, but it's kind of like, it almost feels sometimes stagnant.
Yeah,
I hate saying it because it sounds like I'm knocking it down, which I'm definitely not.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, if I had to spend a half hour enjoying something, would I walk around the trails around the Tree of Life and like look at all the carvings, or would I rather watch Kite Tales?
See, now when you put it like that, you're making that argument for Kite Tales.
I know. And it seems weird, but like, I'm just like, it's Kite Tales, right? Yeah. I don't know, like, what, like, we can't do that against the Tree of Life, that's right?
Like, okay, so going into this, I was like, yeah, it's gonna be the Tree of Life, but now you're like making me think, is it Kite Tales? Because I'm kind of feeling like it might be Kite Tales.
I don't know, like,
well, and then, okay, so do we put the Tree of Life at night because it comes to life at night? It tells, like,
no, I mean, it's just Tree of Life in general. I mean, yes, it does. I mean, that is a part of an aspect to it that, it comes alive at night. I don't know. This is a very difficult one.
It's tricky because, I get what you're saying, like, with the Tree of Life, like, it just, like, it's there and it's beautiful. Like, you look at it, you get some really nice pictures with it. But then on the other hand, you have Kite Tales, which is a really fun show, which they have 2 different shows to go see, and it's really fun.
I think we need to pull an upset here.
Okay.
Sorry if you guys don't agree with this, but I think we're gonna put Kite Tales. I think
we're gonna put Kite Tales.
Let's do it.
Okay, let's do it.
Whoop! There goes the microphone here. I'm so excited to rate Kite Tales here. If you guys don't like that, I apologize.
Sorry, not sorry.
But let us know. let us know how upset you are in the comments for that one here.
All right. Well, that brings us to Expedition Everest versus the Safari.
Oh boy. Oh.
Okay, so we've said it before. Expedition Everest is probably our favorite ride there.
Mm-hmm.
And it does rank really high, I think, across all the parks. Like,
yes,
it's up there in terms of.
I think in terms of attractions, it's one of my favorite across all of the parks.
Yeah.
Regardless of where you're at.
Mm-hmm.
The rewritability on that is incredible.
Oh yeah, we've ridden it like 5 times in a row. Like
it's usually pretty quick to get on, so you don't have to wait that long.
Like it usually doesn't. Even if it does state that it has like, I don't know, a 30 or 40-minute wait, like the load is just so quick with it. I don't know. It's usually
I always come off that ride laughing because I'm just so excited. I can't say enough about Everest. But then you have the safari, which is a very different type of experience. You get to see all these animals. You never get the same type of safari ride.
Yeah, it's always
different. But it does tend to get a little bit longer of a wait depending on when you're going. And as we said, you do get a different type of experience every time. So you might not get a great experience.
That is true. Like if the animals are all sleeping and they're not really active, like you're just kind of like, oh yeah, it's the hyenas or the flamingos are just kind of standing there. I mean, so I think I know what I would pick.
I think I would pick Everest as well. Yeah.
Okay. So
and I just feel weird, like, we don't have the tree of life in the safari in the final, but I'm like, it makes for us, again, these are what our top things are.
Yeah.
And kind of looking at the list, the way that we have it down there, Everest was the number 3 thing that Jay had rated for us. Kite Tails was number 8.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think I would have rated it 8, but going against everything else, it probably would have been like in the lower half of it.
Yeah.
But this seems very on brand for us.
Yeah. Well, and I think on our last trip, like, we just had so much fun with it. Like, Kite Tails was just like, we knew going into it, like, what it was about, and, it was kind of getting poked fun of and all of that, but we just really enjoyed ourselves there. And I don't know, it's really showing on this bracket. So it comes down to Kite Tails versus Expedition Everest.
And as much as I love and enjoy and laugh so much at Kite Tails, it just seems unfair to even try to make an argument.
I was going to say, are you going to make the argument again?
This time I'm not.
No.
People are like, you made the argument against Pandora and against the Tree of Life, but I'm not going to make the argument this time for Kite Tails here. I think this is a pretty simple, straightforward one. As much as I love Kite Tails, Everest is hands down.
It has to be Everest.
It's got to be Everest.
Yeah,
here.
For sure. So Everest is going on.
Right there. Yep. Nope, right there. Down below. There we go.
All right.
Now we're cooking.
Okay.
All right. So we've made it down to the final 4 entries here.
All right.
And this looks incredibly difficult.
Oh gosh. Okay.
Our winner from Magic Kingdom was Haunted Mansion.
Yep.
And then our winner from Hollywood Studios was Rise of the Resistance.
And our winner from Epcot was Harmonius. In Animal Kingdom, our winner is Expedition Everest.
So between those 4, I think we're just going to do those 4. We'll just discuss and see which one we think is the best between those 4 things.
Well, we have Haunted Mansion versus...
Do you want to do it that way? Yeah, we can definitely do it that way. So Haunted Mansion versus Rise. Those were the kind of 2 that are on the left side of our bracket here.
Yeah.
Boy.
Okay, I know what you're thinking.
I feel like it's those are attractions from 2 different times.
I was going to say, like, you have, like, I don't want to say, like, original, but you have, like, old school Disney magic going up against current
Imagineering.
Yeah.
Like, it's almost like, I'm thinking, like an old, like if someone's like a car guy and he's got like an old like Thunderbird like from like the 60s or something, and then you're going up against like the new like top of the line Tesla.
Yeah.
Like, 2 completely separate things, but perfect in every single way for what they're being manufactured for. If we're gonna do it this way,
Do you have one? Do you have one right off the bat, or?
I think so.
Okay.
And I think so. What about you? Do you have any?
I have my pick.
Okay.
So do you want to 3, 2, 1 it, or do you want to just say what yours?
I guess before I say anything,
okay.
This is what we think is our number one thing to do in Disney World.
Mm-hmm.
When this is our top thing, our favorite thing to do.
Yep.
Something that we can't go without doing when we go to Disney World.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to preface that before I give my answer.
Okay.
Okay.
Are we gonna 3, 2, 1?
Okay,
let's do 3, 2, 1.
3, 2, 1.
Haunted Mansion.
Yep. 100%.
Okay.
I remember the last time we were in Hollywood Studios. We almost did not do Rise of the Resistance.
And we were going to be okay with that.
Yep. And when we went to Disneyland this past time, because it's a carbon copy park when it comes to Galaxy's Edge, we didn't do Rise of the Resistance. I love Rise of the Resistance, but I understand that if I have to go and do one thing between those two, I'm going to go with that old school Disney magic. I'm going to go with that original, classic there. I don't feel bad for putting Haunted Mansion in there. But between the two, like it was difficult.
Yeah, it is. But Haunted Mansion, it deserves it. It's in its right spot.
Right. All right. So going to the other side of the board, what do we got there?
So from Epcot, we have Harmonius, and from Animal Kingdom, we have Expedition Everest.
This one is a little easier for me.
This one is too. I don't think it's a surprise.
No. I think we can pretty easily say that Harmonius is going to go through
Harmonius. Here. I don't know. I don't know what else we can say about it, but
not anything that we haven't already said because we've gushed about it so much here so far. All right. So our final two things, our top two things from the Disney parks that we love the most is Haunted Mansion and Harmonious. Okay, we're done with the podcast. We're done. We don't need to pick here.
Come on, we got to do it. We can do it. Okay.
Again, to be honest, I think this is easy for me too.
It is.
Yeah. I don't think that there is much of, not that there needs to be a debate because these two things are perfect in their own each individual way.
Yes.
But I think we made it pretty clear when we were going through the Epcot section. Like if there's one thing that I could do in Disney World when we go there, no matter what park it is or whatever we are planning on doing, seeing Harmonious is going to be number one priority.
And it really just encompasses everything we love about Disney. Like you have the music from the movies set to a spectacular fireworks and water show. What else do you want?
Yeah, and
like,
it's kind of like we've had different like ride based IPs or movie based kind of rides or attractions throughout the bracket here today. Harmonious just takes everything and all of the good stuff and all of the movies and characters that we love the most, and it gives them so much representation just in one show that there are parts of like Beauty and the Beast. So like you get Belle, who has a prominent role over in Animal Kingdom or Magic Kingdom.
Yeah.
And then you have the African section where they, have a lot of Lion King. So you've got the Animal Kingdom represented there. There's so many different parts that represent all the different parts of the parks. It's not just an Epcot specific type of show. This is a world show that encompasses all of the different parks and all the different properties.
Like at the heart, like I just think like that's what Epcot is. Like it's just bringing all of us together from, no matter like what, language you speak, what kind of food you eat or music you listen to, like it just brings everything together. And it's that Disney magic. Oh, I'm gonna start crying just thinking about it. Like I can't say enough good things about this show. Like so that's like the thing. Like if you need to watch, like, if you can only watch one show or do like one like thing, like this is it.
This is it.
Yeah.
And I don't feel bad putting it up there.
No.
I think regardless if however we did it, I felt from the beginning, knowing that the Harmonious was on the list, it was going to be the thing that made it all the way to the end.
Yeah, for sure.
So we're going to officially make it official here.
Yeah, it's official. Like,
it's official. So
it's
the number one thing that you and I love most about Disney World and the Disney parks is Epcot's Harmonious.
Yeah. And that's just it. It's so us too.
Yes.
Like, it just, like I said, we listen to the music all the time. Like, the soundtrack, like, we play it all the time, and we will just put on the show, like, on YouTube, like, we're just watching Harmonious tonight. So yeah, so I think just like Disney World as a whole, like us like talking about Disney, like, I think it's perfect.
All right, so thank you so much again for listening to today's episode, and thank you so much for Meredith, who came up with this idea. When we got the idea, it was just our favorite things at Disney. We were kind of trying to figure out a fun way to incorporate that into an episode.
And you had come up with the bracket idea, and I think that works out really well. And I think that's something we'll probably use again in the future for some other episodes. So I'm really excited for that. So yeah, thanks again, Meredith. That was really fun.
And because obviously we listened to her suggestions. So if you guys have any other suggestions on what to do here for a podcast, please let us know. We've got quite a bit of content that we have planned up here, but definitely like to throw in some new stuff. Or if you guys have an idea that we love to talk about too, we'll definitely throw it on a episode here.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, make sure to come follow us over on Instagram. We're at the Team Unicorn Podcast.
Yes, that's where we do a lot of our updating on there. And if you're watching on YouTube or Spotify or wherever you listen to your podcast, we'd really appreciate a 5-star review or a thumbs up or a like, or that really helps the channel grow and can, really expand our community here.
Yeah, absolutely. So we really appreciate that if you could do that for Team Unicorn.
Team Unicorn, yeah. Well, for Team Unicorn, I am Tyler.
And I'm Sammy.
And it's been magical.